Welcome to our podcast section by Nexis, a digital space dedicated to conversation and knowledge. Learn from leading technology brands about security, marketing, software, market trends, hardware ICT solutions, cloud technologies, creativity, digital transformation, and more.
Hi everyone, it's an absolute pleasure to be here today. I am Samantha Deoraj. I am the Territory Manager at Nexus International LC. We're an ICT distributor and I'm based here in Trinidad and Tobago. Nexus is a leading ICT wholesale distributor in the Caribbean and Central America with our headquarters in Miami. We have a very extensive value-added portfolio, flexible credit lines for our partners, flexible payment terms, a lot of promotion and incentives, and access to regional certified ICT engineers. One of those engineers is actually here with me today, Mr. Moonesh Lutchman, and he is our Adobe and Microsoft product pre-sales engineer. His support and the support of my pre-sales always ensure that our partners have the technical edge when it comes to this dynamic ICT market. We're not just an ICT sales distributor, we're more of a technical support hub through the Caribbean, and we do have a very extensive team as well. And this team really is dedicated to support with demos, deployments, solutions, optimizations, and any sort of end customer trainings that our partners require for the market. With that being said, I would like to jump right into it and give a warm welcome to my colleague Moonesh. I'm very happy to have him here with us, and today we will be discussing Adobe, specifically Adobe Sign. Hey there, Moonesh, welcome.
Hi, good day, everyone. So it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Moonesh Lutchman. Thanks very much for the invitation, Samantha. I am the pre-sales engineer Nexus for Adobe, the product Adobe. I specialize in Adobe Sign, which is what we will be talking about today. So we could get into the questions now, Sam.
No problem at all, Moonesh. Thanks so much. So one such thing that I would like to ask, and I see it a lot when I work with partners and then customers within the Caribbean space, right? What exactly is a digital signature? Because sometimes a lot of end customers are not quite aware of what they're looking for in a solution, right? And if you can help put that into context, so offer some light and shed some clarity into what exactly digital signatures are for those wondering out there, because
Right.
there's a common misconception and it gets thrown out a lot, right? It's a very big buzzword here, especially
Yeah.
in the Caribbean too, as we go through our digital transformation journey. A lot of buzzwords, and digital signature is one of those key buzzwords that I keep hearing all the time. So please, if you can just give us, a little context, Moonesh, what is a digital signature in your words?
So I won't answer the question yet, right? The which is the question is what is a digital signature? There are some words that are synonyms when used in certain contexts, right? So the word digital and the word electronic, in a lot of contexts, they are similar. But when it comes to signatures, an electronic signature is not a digital signature. Right? It's two completely different things, actually, right?
I got you.
Yeah. So like a digital signature is a type of e-signature, okay? A specific type of e-signature that offers only one way to authenticate, right? Electronic signature is what everybody seems to be talking about. Is what they mean, but they use the word digital because they think it's a synonym, right? So electronic signature is just what you think it is, right? Is a legal way to get consent and approval on an electronic document, right? So you could sign on paper and take an image of that and export that image, and that is like your electronic signature because it's stored in electronic format, right? A electronic image or a file, that kind of thing, stored electronically, right? Basically bits and bytes on a computer. Yeah. But a digital signature is actually, you know you you take that electronic signature and you perform a process on it. Okay. You
Okay.
basically convert it into another type of file, right? And that file cannot be tampered with. So you to get a digital signature, you have to go through a couple of processes, right? It's a little bit complicated, but essentially both are very different. A digital signature is one type of electronic signature, and it's generated using digital certificates. A digital certificate is issued by a trust service provider, what they call a TSP or certificate authority, right? And they would call you and do background checks and verify your identity, and they would give you a special certificate, right?
Mhm.
And that certificate, you use that to put a algorithmic process, a mathematical process on your electronic signature to make it tamper proof. So it's really a added layer of security, a kind of signature that offers a higher level of security compared to, say, just a normal electronic signature. Okay.
Okay.
So imagine you sign in with your finger or a stylus on your phone, and you sign in your name, right?
Okay.
Basically drawing it, right? When that gets saved, that is your electronic signature. But that's not what we call a digital signature in this space, in this world of signatures.
You spoke about legal, right? And I think that's a very valid point that you mentioned because, especially within the Caribbean, and I assume you've gotten a lot of questions from your demos that you've been doing when it comes to electronic signatures being legally binding. A quick question as well. Is there like a global guide to electronic signature laws? And does Trinidad, for example, have such a guide?
Well, there is a global guide, as you spoke about there. On Adobe's website, you can find it if you do a search. I think it's a global guide to electronic signature, right? Laws, country by country, right? So, first of all, it is legally binding. Electronic signatures are legally binding in nearly every industrialized nation. Even less developed countries are beginning to enact e-signature laws. So, for example, in our country, there was a law recently done. I think it's 2016. It was given legality to electronic signatures. Right. United States passed electronic signatures in global and national commerce. What we call that e-sign act. Back in 2000, I believe it is, right, making e-signatures legal for
Yeah.
virtually all users. And the European Union has that E, what is it by EIDAS, I believe it is, Electronic Identification and Trust Services Regulation in the European Union, right? That took effect from 2016. Around the same time, Trinidad did their own act.
So
So
just
yeah, it is legal.
I got you. So just to recap, you mentioned, to summarize, electronic signatures are legal. You
Mhm.
said they're tested.
Yeah.
Secure, you mentioned about the Trust Center. So participants of those out there who want to learn more, you can visit Adobe's Trust Center. Verifiable and auditable, right?
Yeah.
Electronic signal, great. And that ensures compliance and maintains that detail for an audit trail as well.
Yeah.
A quick question as well, right? A lot of people ask in terms of is there a difference between an electronic and a digital signature?
Yeah, which I was talking about before, right?
Okay.
Yeah, electronic signature is something you could do at any point in time using
Mm-hmm.
the Adobe Sign solution. So, um, you like say you get an email asking for you to put your signature on a document. You could, if you're on your tablet or your phone, you could just tilt it and start a draw with your finger or a stylus, and that signature that you put there gets saved onto the form, and the process continues to the next person that needs to sign. That's really what electronic signature is. A digital signature, as I hinted to before, that involves getting a digital certificate from a trust provider, right? Or a certificate authority. So you have to go to them, apply for the certificate. They have to do a background check on you to ensure that you are you, and they would give you a certificate authorizing you to, you are who you are, right? And that is a electronically stored file that you can access on the cloud or maybe on your device, on your computer, and so on. When you want to put your digital certificate on something, you have to, sorry, your digital signature, you use that certificate to create a new digital signature that to put on a document. And the Adobe Sign solution makes this process as easy as clicking a button, right? So there is a big difference. The digital signature is more about security and you proving who you are. It cannot be forged. Like I cannot forge your digital signature because the trust authority that issued you your certificate would issue me a different certificate. So if I take your digital signature and I tamper with it, there is an authority that could look at the final artifact and say if it was created with your certificate or if it was created with mine. You follow?
Gotcha.
So if I
If
take your digital signature and I tamper with it, and you say, okay, I think this was a forgery, I could take this tampered signature, go to my authority and get them verified. And they will say, no, this certificate was not, your certificate wasn't used to create this signature. It was tampered with. If you had created this signature, it would have a different ID. It would have a different number associated with it. So it's verifiable. That's why we say, Adobe Sign is verifiable, auditable, secure, all these things, electronic signature.
no problem. And if you mentioned about the signing process. Could you walk us through what an example or how does this work exactly? So let's just say you, Moonesh, would like something to be signed by myself, right? Let's just say, okay, we are working on a document together and you require my signature and you require the signature of another one of our colleagues, for example, Carolina, right?
Yeah.
But you need me to sign before Carolina. Just walk us through how that would work then if you would send a document of both our signatures.
Okay, so first of all, if I am creating the process, if I'm starting the process, I would be called the sender, right? So me as the sender, I need an Adobe Sign subscription, right? I would be given a username and password, which I could log into the portal, and I would start this process. So I would say, okay, there's some document, call it NDA1.pdf or .docx, right? I'm going to attach it to the, I'm going to start the process by attaching the document. I'm going to select your email, Samantha, and then I'll select Carolina's email after. I would put you as number 1 and put her as number 2. I would type up an email body and an email header, right? Because you will get an email, right, from Adobe Signs, right? So I have both of your emails in the order I want you all to sign. I'm going to, on the form that I upload, well, on the document I uploaded, I'm going to click and drag form fields, form signature fields. So I could upload a plain Word document that has only text in it. And in the Adobe Sign portal, I could click a signature field, put it next to where I want you to sign. And I could say, okay, only Samantha could sign here. And I could click and drag another signature field for Carolina lower down and say, okay, she can sign here. And then click submit and send it, right? When I click send, Adobe Signs process kicks in the back end where they handle the routing, okay? They will send you an email, but the document that you need to sign is not attachment in the email, right? It's secure on Adobe servers. They're going to give you a link that you click. When you open the link to sign, you would have to have some kind of modern browser on your system, on your tab, your phone, your computer, and whatever. You as the recipient, both you and Carolina are recipients, right? I'm the sender. Recipients don't need to have anything installed except a modern browser and internet access. They don't need an Adobe Sign account. They don't need any kind of subscription for any software product from Adobe, right? So you would just open it up in a browser. You would see a yellow arrow pointing to the signature field. Like you have to put your signature, but you can't sign where Carolina has to sign. You follow? You could only sign where I said that you can sign. And remember, this is in your browser, so you could take this on your phone, right? Tilt your phone, put your signature by, using your finger or your stylus, or you could choose to type it. That's another way of putting your digital signature. You could type it out in a prefix font, right? Type out your the letters in your name. Or if you have your wet signature taken as an electronic image on your phone or on your Google Drive or whatever, you could insert it there. So it have like 3 or 4 ways to insert your electronic signature there in your browser, right? And then you just
Okay.
click a save button and you're done. Adobe handles the routing where it will route that document with your signature on it to Carolina. She will get an email. When she answers her email, she will see the email for these asking her to put her signature. She would click and it will open up a link and she would do the same thing you do, but she could only sign where I, the sender, said that she could sign.
I
And
understand.
and you realize this could happen in like 2 minutes, right? As fast as you sign and as fast as she signs, as fast as you all could get emails and do it, this process is really quick. So potentially I could send a document out and in 2 minutes 5 people sign it.
Let's just
It-
say I have an emergency, right, Moonesh? And I
yes.
need to run. Um, is there an Adobe Sign mobile app perhaps that I could sign on my phone?
Well, it wouldn't be a mobile app per se. Is because Adobe Sign is a cloud-based product.
Mm-hmm.
You by default, you all you need is a browser to log in. If you are a sender to create an agreement, but you don't need anything installed. So once you have a browser on your phone and you have your email client on your phone, you could be anywhere and on your device you could get emails once you have internet access, right? And
Gotcha.
on your phone, on your email client, you would open up the email, click the link for you to sign, and it will open a new tab in your browser on your phone, and you can sign there. You can put your signature there. So you don't need a special software or a special device. All you need is a browser, a modern browser, and internet access as a recipient.
Thanks for clarifying. One thing as well that a lot of, because we do so much work in the Caribbean, a lot of the common questions that we often get is from people who are doing tenders and bids and considering electronic solutions for signing. They ask what type of industries are using it. And from my experience, and I believe yours as well, we see a lot of examples in the education industry, financial services, government, healthcare, manufacturing, media, retail, etc. And my question to you really is, how beneficial you think this has been to these companies locally that we've been working with? What type of advantages you think they gained, and what feedback have you received being here as our pre-sales in the market today, working with these industry types?
They most industries talk about that the fact that they save money because this solution eliminates all paper, right? That that's the point of design, eliminating paper-based workflows with digital experiences, right? So
Right.
most people say, well, we don't need a fax machine anymore. We don't need paper. We don't need, all this infrastructure, physical infrastructure in our company. We just need computers with browsers and we need Adobe Sign subscriptions. And we could send to anybody, anywhere, on any device, and they can sign agreements, right? This is the technical word Adobe uses for these documents you're sending to several people. They call it an agreement, right?
And
Um,
I guess this has been accelerated now because
yeah, yeah,
post COVID-19, everybody having to take the mandate to work
yeah,
from home. Who's going to get a physical signature at an office now, right?
exactly. Yeah.
So I guess a lot of queries and inquiries about the solution would have come across your way to enable that ease in signing documents and getting work moving. Otherwise, I guess employees and work operations would be stuck.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter the industry, it is industry agnostic, this Adobe Sign solution. What I understand though, and this is mentioned after, is that people have less work, less manual work to do. They can actually concentrate on the actual job, right? So you would have somebody that need to send out an NDA, where they have to print the document, they have to fax it. When they get it back, they have to scan it, put it in an email attachment, and send it to the first person. Then when that first person signs, you have to do that whole process again and send it to the third person, right? So getting 3 signatures involves printing and sending and uploading and faxing 3 times. That could take days, right?
Understand? Yeah.
But now all that is gone. So what people have been saying, and obviously they say this after, right? Most of them, it's like, I have a lot of time to do my own work now. I don't have to, I don't have to do these things that take me away from my actual job, right?
And that's the brilliant thing about having technology to
Yeah,
enable your workflow and your daily task. It's not hindering. And I love that you said that, it has that type of capabilities. So does that mean that with Adobe, you're capable of setting up workflows and those sort of things then?
yeah.
Like automations and
Yeah, the solution itself is it automates the sending to the recipients in the order that you specified up front.
Mhm.
Um, it also there's workflows where if you have a bunch of people that you commonly send documents to, or if you have a bunch of documents that you commonly send out, right? You could specify these things up front in templates, okay? And you could save that template on the portal, and then you could just pick the template you want. For example, I have an NDA template, right? I
Right.
could start with that, and I could just attach the document I need, put the signature, and then I'm off. So there are ways to simplify the sending process, you as a sender, and the workflows are very powerful in terms of who gets to see what and in what order, and who could change things.
Okay, okay, I got you. I
Yeah.
understand.
So you
And
could send an NDA to several people, but only one person could see everything in the document. You could hide pieces of the document from everybody else.
I totally understand.
You
Oh, well,
know?
that's really good. No
Yeah.
problem. And my next question, really, when you talk about that automation, right? Are there integrations that Adobe has, Adobe Sign specifically, with other industry leaders out there?
Oh yeah.
That Sure, yeah. If you can shed some light on that as well, because I think I've gotten a couple queries when we do our little demos and our road shows. There are always a lot of the questions are about the integrations with vendors. So if you could speak a bit about what Adobe Sign has and who are their big players right now in the market.
Right. So the actor sending a document out for signature. Where does the document originate from? Usually, these documents originate from custom software systems that you have. Maybe it originated from Microsoft Teams or SharePoint or OneDrive, where you and your team internally were using, say, Document Cloud or Acrobat Pro to finalize what this document should look like before sending it out for signatures, right? But when
Right.
you're ready to send it off for signature, the document is approved by your team, but it's in your SharePoint, or it's in
Right.
your OneDrive, or it's in Microsoft Teams. From there, you could click a button and send it to Adobe Sign. You could log into Adobe Sign and create your workflow, upload a template, or start the sending process, because Adobe Sign has integrations across the board, across all Microsoft products, right? Microsoft and Adobe entered into a partnership, and Adobe Sign is Microsoft's preferred e-signature solution across the entire portfolio.
Wow, that's
And
really good to know. Yeah.
and Microsoft Teams is your preferred chat product in Adobe.
Okay.
Okay, Adobe's servers across the world are actual Azure servers running on Microsoft Azure platform, right?
Oh, wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you use Adobe Sign, your documents are by default on the cloud, right? Adobe
Gotcha.
Cloud, but Adobe's cloud is Microsoft, is Azure that they're running
Gotcha.
on. So the partnership is very, very deep. They have integrations with other applications, so like point of sale applications,
Mhm.
Oracle, SAP. They have Nintex, all these other brands that have software, Google Drive, Box, Dropbox, Google Cloud, right? If you have a custom application that you're being developed in house, the enterprise agreements of Adobe Sign allow you to use APIs, REST APIs,
Right.
so your developers could write code and integrate Adobe Sign into the custom application that they're building for you. So there's no way you could say Adobe Sign is out of your reach.
I understand. No
Yeah.
problem. I think that's pretty interesting as well. One thing that I wanted to ask, and a lot of people, when we do these sort of events and everything, people and a lot of end customers and partners, they always ask in terms of like, what is it like? How do I acquire such a solution? How do I know if this solution is right for me? Are there different type of buying for Adobe Sign, for example? Can I buy like an individual license? Can I buy for my small business or my business? You know, could you break down that sort of core plan for us, more or less, on what it looks like for
Yeah.
Adobe Sign?
So like you would definitely need a subscription, okay?
Right.
Adobe Sign is a cloud-based product, so there's nothing to install. That's the first thing. Like traditionally people would install Acrobat Pro, but now Acrobat Pro is in the cloud,
Mhm.
right? Document cloud. So what happens is, once to get a subscription, you have to determine, well, what do I need, right? So there you can buy Adobe Sign on an individual basis. You could buy it for a small business. You could buy it for a normal business tier or teams, like you can purchase it for a team. Or when you have a lot of people and you need more complicated workflows, or you need things like single sign-on, you need phone authentications, you would have to purchase like an enterprise license, okay? Essentially, these different licenses, they vary on the functionality that you need. For example, if you're just a team of 5 people, you don't really need all the advanced stuff that Adobe Enterprise would give you, because you're not managing 5,000 people using Adobe Sign. You follow? So if you don't need all those management capabilities and integrations and all these other advanced features, you could purchase like for small businesses or for the business or teams license, right? If you have a giant company and you're managing 5,000 people, say using Adobe Sign, like say a giant bank with multiple branches all over the country, then enterprise agreement is what you would really want. But if it all boils down to the subscription based on user or per transaction, right? So let me
I
clarify what transaction is, right? Because you
Yeah,
mentioned
because
that by
exactly. I was just
individual.
about to ask that because a lot of people too they ask like how many documents can I send with Adobe
Right,
Sign, right?
right.
And then now I know this is where the consultative part of it comes in because it's not
Yeah,
just clear cut, right? So yeah, just walk
yeah.
us through exactly how many documents that could be sent with Adobe Sign. Yeah.
Okay, so let me define a transaction, right? Once you have a Adobe Sign subscription, uh, the a transaction in Adobe Sign, they define it as several documents, one or more documents, sent as a single workflow, regardless of whether it is to one or multiple people, whether regardless of how many documents. Once you click the send button, and you are sending several documents to several people in a particular order or particular workflow, all of that is one transaction actually. So you
Okay.
have usage limitations, like enterprise agreement might say, okay, you cannot have more than say these number of pages in the document, or maybe because you're using business, you have a limitation of the document size cannot exceed this number of megabytes. You follow?
Right.
So the different license subscriptions you have different limitations on the size of the document, the number of pages, how much people you could send it to, and that kind of thing. But essentially, a transaction is what I just described. So if you have like an enterprise agreement, you could, and you have something like Mega Sign or Giga Sign, you could send large documents to several hundred people, and that all that is one transaction actually.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, but if you purchase a subscription for Adobe Sign by user,
Hmm.
what happens is each user will be given 150 transactions per year, uh,
Okay.
right? And they don't roll over. You have a
Okay.
up until the
That's good
year.
to know.
Yeah, but it's pooled together. So like if you
Okay.
have a team of 5 people and you have 150 transactions each, then is 150 multiplied by 5
I understand.
transactions total. So one person could use 500 of those transactions,
I
and the
understand.
the other 4 people could use the remaining, right?
And for the business and enterprise plans, that usage is dependent on the plan and it could be based on per
Yeah.
user or per transaction model, right?
Yeah. Your level is determined according to your VIP that you currently have, or if you're new, then you don't have one. But
Yeah.
that's getting into the details,
Yeah,
license and
yeah.
so on.
No problem.
But if
But
you can also purchase by transaction, huh?
and for those out there who are interested, right, Adobe does have a trial version that is open to
Yeah.
anyone via their website, and they can feel free to download and just, I think it's like 7 days, right? Confirming, right? 7 days that they have that trial version for. It's a
Which
7 day
is good.
trial. Yeah. Okay. Um, a lot of questions as well that we got when we were doing this segment is people were wondering and partners were wondering as well. Moonesh, do you do demos? Are you available for demos? What type of support do you provide to the market right now as the pre-sales? You do demos, you do demos with partners, training to partners, and customer demos. And you also have some sort of promotions running, right? Where you guys are having giving away how many licenses for to partners as well for a cost like a less than $1 or
Yeah,
something, right? Yeah.
yeah. So like we potentially could have a promotion where we are giving the top 5 customers to a partner a promotion where you could purchase 50 transactions for $1, right? And again, you could purchase transactions for Adobe Sign. Like you could buy 100 transactions for the year if you know you don't need that many, right? You could start small and then you could go up. So think the promotions like that help you to use the solution and see what is the right fit for you. And we recommend people start small and then upgrade, right? No need to purchase 1,000 transactions if you don't know what you're gonna be using. Like buy like 50, buy like 100, and you could always buy after,
Sure.
pay as you go with that. To answer your question about demos, yeah, that's one of the biggest things I do, right? I sit down with partners and explain to them what the solution entails, what is needed, and how to do it to enable them to sell it better to customers. Okay, should they require a customer demonstration of the solution, like in the beginning when it's new to them as well, we are really happy to do that, to show them all the intricacies of the solution, because it's very complicated. It's like, is this giant solution that has like 50,000 things in it, but most companies would probably use 10,
I
right?
understand. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that as well, even as an end customer myself. And if I were a partner, I would love the fact that I have someone as knowledgeable as yourself and your team to sit with me and walk me through what plan makes sense, what type of licensing makes sense, where do I start, where do I go, how do I use the solution,
Yeah.
and really address any in-depth questions I may have as well. So I think the type of support, and especially having you here on the ground in Trinidad and supporting the Caribbean, I think it's really monumentous, I must say. And I think it offers a lot of great value to the market. I believe that, those partners out there should really take advantage of having you here on the ground and really working with us. This is really a lot of great value add. And I think from me, I would just like to say a special thank you. Thank you so much for being here and taking time to answer all these questions that I had today. I'm not quite sure. Do you have any questions for me as the local TM that you've been getting from partners when they ask you about Nexus? Or anything you think you would like to ask to me as well?
Yeah, I think with this digital transformation,
Right.
Adobe Sign is really enabling that, right? Um,
Mhm.
is it something that you see we could benefit from? Like, what are other things we could do, or what do you see happening with this whole digital transformation push?
That's a really good question as well. And I think with Nexus, having the support of yourself, me, and our colleagues in Jamaica and across the Caribbean, us as a valued ICT distributor, because we're so hands on with technology and with solutions and being trusted advisors in the market, we're able to really work with the partners and the end customers, and those span from government, education, commercial, and
Right.
even small businesses as well, to ensure that they have the knowledge at their fingertips to make decisions when it comes to investing in technology. And of course, it starts with cultural change as well when you start talking about digital transformation, and having that sort of consultative approach and guiding the changes and the recommendations when it comes to making enablement plans, when it comes to upskilling staff, etc. We're here on the ground and we're quite
Right.
familiar with the market as well. So it gives us a good playing field to say, to work and support the market on the journey that the the Caribbean is up and coming. And I believe, it's been a great year in growth with our communities. We've been here on the ground doing a lot of work with our partners and their end customers, and we've been doing a lot of support, especially with Adobe. I think it was one of the solutions that really was able to benefit end customers in working better and making a good shift, you know, to being able to be more efficient and effective in how they manage their time, how they manage when it comes to paper as well, and going green, and all these contributing factors to the environment. So I think, we're going there, we're here, we're growing in the market. And if there's anyone who is interested in working with us, you can contact me directly. My email is provided as well with this podcast, and or Moonesh or any one of our colleagues supporting Caribbean. So I just want to say a special thank you, Moonesh, for your time. Very insightful, and thank you for having me be here with you today.
You're most welcome. It was definitely a pleasure. Looking forward to doing this again.